Hey there folks, how's it going there? My name is Kevin and I'm going to do a little, well, it's not really a review, it's a video on my take. I know there's lots of reviews out there, but on the Double Impact, just got these in. These little beauties here, they're pretty nice speakers here. They're all white, got them in a matte type of finish. Got the two 10s. Got the mid-range array with the tweeter and the two 6.5s. I think they're a pretty nice looking speaker. They've got these ones here have the upgrades. It's a $300 US upgrade package. They have upgraded capacitors. The wiring has a military spec. I think it's copper and silver, but don't quote me on that. And it has the card-S binding posts, which are pure copper. So it's got a few significant upgrades in them for the $300 US. These are the double impacts, obviously you can see here. So there's a few reviews on the web right now, YouTube and that, about them. So it's not really a review, just my take. I've seen the reviews there on YouTube, so I thought, hey, let's get a pair and check these things out. They look dynamite, and as far as the reviews, they say they sound great. So let's see what's going to happen here with these. I want to fire some tunes through them and give them a good run. These speakers here have been running all week on a receiver. I just put them through, cranked up tunes while I'm at work. I always like to give speakers a fair shot. If you just pull them out of the box and put them on and play them, they're not broken in. They're mechanical devices, so they need to, just like a car, they need to, things need to move and break in. So before they end, just from hearing them from the beginning on the receiver and after playing for a week, quite an improvement. And when I first heard them, I thought, they sound okay, but after the week, they sound amazing. So let's do some testing here and see what I think of them. All right, we're back here with the double impacts here. Just listened to a whole bunch of tunes, checking them out, going through my audition list that I have, the different tunes that I listen to and tracks I listen to with different speakers and just regular tunes that I like to listen to. Anyways, the first that I noticed with these is the authoritative bass on them. Very tight and controlled, and just like the other the reviews say, that they're very tight and controlled. And the one thing I find about the bass on this, and it will really surprise you, because just when you think, you've heard what they can do, then you'll put on a different track and they'll play such low frequencies that you'll feel it through your body. And it's not that it's loose or sounds like it's out of control. It's very in control, these speakers. The bass output is very surprising. You do not need a subwoofer with these. I do have subwoofers in the background, but they're not hooked up to that system. So you do not need a subwoofer. I'd even suspect if you had them hooked them up just in 2-channel, listening to your TV or movies, I don't think you would need really a subwoofer either. They'd be sufficient with the bass. And far as the soundstage is very good with these. I was a little worried about all the tweeters and the drivers, thinking, how are these really going to sound? But I was really impressed with these speakers. I've had a lot of speakers through this room, which you can see here. It's a non-treated room. This is just a living room, so it gives them a fair shot for other people that are interested in these, that are not going to put them in a sound treated room, just going to put them in their living room or whatever, and see what kind of results. The next thing I noticed is drums, stuff like that sounded very accurate. I'm a drummer myself, played a lot live, and over the years, sometimes 4 or 5 times a week playing live. And I used to have a drum company, so I know what drums sound like. I probably owned 40 or 50 different drum kits myself, so I recognize the sound of cymbals, toms, floor toms, bass drums, snares, how they're supposed to sound. These sound really good and give you a realistic sound of drums. And then as far as the vocals, the mid-range is very, very good. I really love the mid-range on these. And even the high frequencies. One thing I noticed with these is the high frequencies are very well done, but as far as that I noticed in other speakers in the past that I've had that are, you know, $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 speakers, that they're up there in that price range. And what you seem to get from those is that little bit you hear the lip smacking, or, you know, the wetness of the lips, which I noticed with these ones, you don't seem to get as much as that. It just seems to be a little bit, I'm not going to say hidden, but you just don't hear it as much. It's not as evident as other high-end speakers that I've had here, which is no big deal, because most times you don't hear that in recordings or you know, situations live. That's not an evident thing. That's something which us audiophiles look for and try to listen for, to hear more detail, or digging deep into the recording, as I usually like to say. It's digging so deep in the recording, it's extracting that, which maybe in general it's you know, it's not supposed to be there as much. But anyways, those are just my thoughts on it. As far as the build of the speaker and everything, it's done very well. You know, I can't find any flaws in it anywhere. The finish of it is perfect. The way they were delivered and everything, well packed, and just a great speaker. I think these are 3,100 US. In different reviews you can find that. So they're you know, and that's US funds. So I'm here in Canada, so you're looking, you know, pretty close to $5,000 for a pair of these, which isn't cheap, but really it's not that much money for what you're getting. These are a large speaker, dual 10s. You know, I've had speakers in here, $16,000, $17,000 retail, and comparing with these, I would say these would stand up to them for sure. As far as now, I'd say, you know, every speaker sounds different, but one of the best sounding speakers that I've had in there is these. They really grab a hold of the recording. You hear it, it's very live sounding, and it sounds different. Even the recordings that you listen to that you've heard on other speakers, on these, they sound a little different. They sound more realistic. I'd say the vocals sounds like they're in the room. The acoustic guitar sounds like it's in the room. The drums sound like they're in the room. So you get, you know, those little give and takes of every different little speaker set. But I think these are a phenomenal deal. Most people, I would think, would really like them. I really like them. But you know, there's something that it's an acquired taste. Some people like different stuff, so that's the thing. But I think the majority of people would really like these speakers, and they get good reviews on YouTube. That's why I bought them. I thought, hey, let's check out a pair of these. I like to hear different stuff, and something that's on the market that's a really good deal for the money. You ain't even going to come close to it. You're not going to touch it. I mean, you can get bookshelf monitors that are really good and that, but they're not going to give you the sound of what these things do here. And I'd say right out of the box, which I noticed, they sound okay, but they need time to break in. And I always say breaking in, not putting on low volumes and just letting them run. You need to punch them up a little bit, get those drivers moving, and you know, after a week or two, you're going to hear what probably the most, you know, what they're going to sound like when they're done. It might not be for all people, you know, the end result, but I think majority of the people are really going to love these things. They come in all different colors. I chose the white because it's fairly neutral. It's nice and clean looking. It goes with my decor, with my white trim and that. So they're, you know, very nice looking speakers too. I don't find them an eyesore myself. As far as it being wife friendly, or your wife liking them, that might be a different deal. Another thing I found with these, in this room here, I always needed to pull any speaker that I've owned really far out from the walls to get the bass impact. Every speaker that I've had in this room, it sounds a little thin, probably because it needs some, you know, dampening acoustic foam on the wall or some work done. But anyways, every speaker that I've had, big or small, they always seem to be a little thin sounding. So I would move them out probably about 7-8 feet out, about 1/3 of the way out from the room to get the optimum bass performance. And these ones here, I found it opposite. When I had them out that far, they didn't really do it. And when I started pushing them back further and further to the wall, then I got the bass performance, but it wasn't boomy or anything. So I'm thinking if you go back close to the walls, they would do really well, which I've heard in other reviews that people can push them back close to the walls and it doesn't really affect the bass. In this incident, I like them a little bit back instead of all the other speakers I've had them away from the walls. So they worked very well. I was really impressed with how they worked. That's my kind of take on these things. I really like them. I think they work great. What I'm running them with is a 50 watt per channel tube amplifier. Not crazy power. These are super efficient. So they don't need very much power. I mean, you can run a lot of solid state power, whatever you want on them. But I think even if you had a, 20 watt per channel tube amplifier or something, or even probably, a little bit smaller would do fine. But they work very well. These speakers are no slouch, put it that way. They're great. I think they would be great in any room, whether big or small. Even though they're a large speaker, I think they would work very well in a smaller room as well, as long as you've got enough room to accommodate them as far as cosmetic and looks and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I'm going to leave you with that, my take, and I give them 2 thumbs up for these Tekton Double Impacts. I think they'll do very well for other people. If you haven't thought about these speakers or about buying them, you might want to put them on your list just because of the price range. If you're looking for a speaker between $4 to $5 grand Canadian, they should be on your list to check out because you're getting a lot more than what you're paying for that's for sure. So that's my take on these. I'll have a few more videos coming up. I have another pair of Tekton speakers that I'm going to be checking out. I don't per se this is a review. There's a lot of reviews online about these speakers, so this is just my take of what I think and my experience about buying them. They're very good. The people at Tekton are amazing. So if you have any questions, you can contact them there, and I'm sure they'll answer any questions you have about these or help you deciding what speaker might be good for you. So stay tuned for some of my other videos, and just like to say God bless everybody and have an amazing week.